Okay, so the first thing you want to start off doing is her eyebrows. This is the brow pencil I have. And you can use any brow pencil that works for you. Mine has the spoolie on one end, and then the other end, it has the pencil. Let's get started by brushing her brows up. You want the front of the brow to be brushed up, and then you want to follow the direction of the hair on the rest of the brow, on the tail. If you're doing brows, if you're not doing brows, then you can skip this step. Now we're gonna just make hair-like strokes inside the brow. Just like that. Because they don't need too much. And if you mess up, it's okay because you're gonna use some concealer to clean it up. So just follow the shape of the brow in hair-like strokes. Like I'm literally just doing like that. Okay, if you can see it. Okay. I'm losing my voice, so I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm not speaking loud enough. So you want to fill in the tail of the brow to make it darker, and then the front of the brow, you want it to be like faded into the tail of the brow. So you want to make sure your hand gets lighter here so that the strokes are not so dark, okay? And you can leave it like that, but what I like to do is go up under the brow and trace it. Just like that. You don't gotta do too much. And then she has full brows, so I really don't have to do much. I just like to do that. But if your child or if you don't have full brows, you can take your pencil, match up with the crease of your nose, so that's where you should make your line. Just like that. And then you turn it like that, and your point should be here, your arch. And then you can move it to the bottom of your nose, and your tail should line up right there. Just so you can make sure you're putting the brows in the right spot. So we're gonna move to the next brow. We already brushed it up, so I'm gonna trace this one first. It's however you prefer to do it. The other side, I filled it in first, and then I traced it. But this side, I'm gonna trace it first, or outline it, and then I'm gonna fill it in. And if you make your tail too long, it's okay. You're going to clean it up. It always start off looking a mess, but by the time you get done, it always looks really good. So trust the process. One thing I do want to say is to make sure that the brows kind of look the same, like the darkness of the brow. You don't want this one to look darker than this one. And remember, when you get up to the front of the brow, to make lighter strokes, because we want to create an ombre effect. This is being extra, especially for kids, because you don't have to do this. Her brows look a mess right now, but we're going to clean it up, okay? And they don't have to be perfect. Now I'm just going to brush it out again to make sure. Don't overthink it. So now I'm going to take her concealer. And I'm going to warm it up in my hands. You don't have to warm it up in your hands if you got a new bottle, but her bottle, you see how it's kind of missing some, so I'm just trying to warm it up so it's not clunky. Then you're going to take your concealer and put it on the lid, just a dab on the lid. And you can take some of the concealer off of the brush if you don't have a brush like, so if you don't have a flat brush like this, you can just use the brush that comes on the concealer. So I'm going to show you both ways. On this eye, I'm going to use the brush, and on this eye, I'm going to use the concealer brush. And you also want that concealer to go all over the lid. And just take your time here. If you need more, you can add more, but I like to start with less so that I don't have too much product. And just blend it out evenly so that when you go to put your eyeshadow on top of it, it all looks even. Because now that's your base for your eyeshadow. And I like to come out past the brow just so I can make sure it looks nice and clean right there. And now I'm going to use the other side to clean up under the brow with the brush. So just clean it off really good because you don't want to put any extra. Boom. And make sure you apply it right into the middle of the eyelid so that you don't have so much concealer up under the brow. Okay, now that you have both of them spread it out, you can use your beauty blender to blend out the rest of the concealer on this side to make it look even.
The video's gonna end.
I'm just gonna go in with this brush that I already been using, but like I said, you can just go in with your beauty blender because the whole reason you use the applicator from the concealer on this side is because you don't have a brush. And now we're going to conceal the top of the brow with the foundation. Okay, so for the top of the brow, we're going to use the foundation. This is her foundation that I'm going to be using. And I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. Make sure your hands are clean. And you just need a little bit. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and just clean off my brush that I used to blend out her concealer. And I'm going to trace the top of her brow. And start away from the brow. Don't start right next to it. Make sure you place it up high a little bit and then make your way down so that you don't mess up or you don't have it looking too clunky. I'm sorry if y'all hear background noise. And really just take your time on the brows because that's the first thing people look at when they look at your face, in my opinion. I always look at people's brows. And now we're going to do the other side. Okay. And if you think they're too thick for your liking, you can always go into it a little more, but just make sure you don't get into the brow, like the hairs, because it will show. But my daughter naturally has thick brows, so I can't make hers too thin. And just blend that out. Pull it up away from the brow. And then you can use your brush or your beauty blender to blend that out. I couldn't find her beauty blender, so we're going to be using a brush to apply her foundation. So I'm just going to blend it out with this. I forgot to tell y'all about primer. So I always put primer on her face. Primer just helps the foundation stick or last longer. I'm not going to put primer on her face tonight, but it's just like a liquid and you'll just apply it over all of her face before you do her brows. Now I'm just going to take another brush and kind of just push that in. You see it's creasing. So I'm just going to kind of clean that up before I apply the eyeshadow. And just press it in. Both sides. Take your time. Don't overthink it. You got this. And you can also blend it across in the middle just to make sure you got them even. Okay, now we're going to move on to eyes. She has this eyeshadow palette. One of them broke. So I'm going to fix that with a little alcohol. But right now, we're going to be using this dark shade and this light shade. And we'll probably use this shade for glitter. So I'm going to take this little fluffy brush like this.
That's my favorite brush.
And I'm going to go into the darker color first. And I'm taking it right on the outer corner. And just use a little bit, especially if you're new to makeup, so that you don't have to blend as much. And you just want to use windshield wiper motions back and forth, or you can use circular motions, whichever helps you better. I do both. Now we're going to move on to the lighter color. Okay, so for the inside of her eye, or the inner corner, I'm going to use this brush. It's kind of flat, but it's fluffy. And we're going to go in with this shade. And just make sure you hold their head still and tap. Just tap it on there. Tap it in place. And now you want to go back to your other brush that you used to do the dark color, and you want to blend the two together. And if you go back and forth, that'll help you get rid of the line of demarcation. Okay, so I think that's good enough, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we got the eyeshadow applied to both eyes. Now I'm gonna take this, I don't know what to call this brush, but it's like a small brush. It's kind of fluffy, but it's more dense. We're gonna take this brush, and we're gonna go in with the glitter.
They can't see.
Tap, tap. Make sure every time you dip into your eyeshadow palette that you tap off the excess, okay? And now we're gonna go right into the inner corner and just tap. Okay? And now we're gonna do that to the other side. And you can put as much as you like. She likes glitter, so I'm kind of heavy-handed right here. But you don't have to do all that. Oops, I got some on her nose. Okay, and if you feel like you need to blend some more, just take your brush that you use your light shade with and just tap, tap to blend. Close your eyes. And make sure that they are keeping their eyes closed because my daughter keeps trying to open her eyes because she know the camera's right here. Okay, so now since we got the eyeshadow completed, we're gonna go in with some eyeliner. What you want to do here is make sure you stay close to the lash line and just connect. Y'all see I messed up. Just connect the dots. So I'm making like little notches of eyeliner and then I'm connecting it. So that's how to look. And then if you want to go and be extra like me, you can make a wing. Every time you do it, it'll get better. And you can just clean it up. And I also want to say, if your child has small eyelids, like not a lot of eyelid space, please go really thin on the eyeliner. Do it too thick and their eyelids are small, it's going to look like they just got on a thick eyeliner and no eyeshadow, okay? So always start small, and if you want it bigger, then you can do that. But start small, okay? And don't be down on yourself or stress yourself out about doing makeup. It gets better every time you do it. It doesn't happen overnight. And once you learn how to do it, you're going to love it. And I've been doing makeup for a long time and I still mess up. So girl, if that tells you anything, you got this. Remember that. So I got that eyeliner on there. And I still see a little bit of makeup right there. So I'm just going to close your eyes, girl. And then you just want to make sure your eyeliners look even. And if it looks like wiggly, like your hand was not really steady, you can take your concealer and just clean up the edges. Your concealer is going to be like your eraser for everything. So now we got her eyeliner on there. I messed up a little bit. Or you can also use your foundation. So I'm just going to use this little flat angled brush and some concealer.
That's very flat.
The bright concealer or the lighter concealer that goes under the eye. I'm just going to use a little bit of that on the back of my hand and put the brush in it just to clean up her wing. And just like that. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay. So now we want to move on to the mascara. We all know how to do this. But just for the ones that don't. She hates this part. But you want to tell your client or your daughter, whoever it may be that you're doing their makeup, to just look up. So you don't want them to look up too high at you. If you're standing in front of them, you want them to look at like your chin so that the lashes doesn't touch the eyeshadow. Because if you put this on there and they look up too high, it's going to mess up all your hard work. And I like to pause a little bit to give them time to blink so that their eyes doesn't water. So that's one coat on there. And you can use a little fan too for this part. You can look at the phone, baby, because I'm kind of on the side. So. This video is long, so if you need to skip over the parts that you don't need to know how to do, then just skip it. And normally I would go back in and do a second coat of mascara, but for this video, I'm not. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and clean off the glitter on her face because we're about to start applying the foundation. So now you would apply your primer here, but we're not going to apply primer. So we're going to just apply foundation. And I like to put my hand up under their chin when I put the foundation on their face, because if some spills, I don't have to worry about it spilling on their clothes. If I was doing a client's face, she would have like a cape on, so I don't have to worry about it. But since I'm just doing it for my daughter, this is what I do. And I also want to say, if your child has like pigmentation or scars or dark spots, just make sure you put your, I would go with your bright concealer to just let it sit on the spot, and then you can put your foundation over it. But let that concealer dry on that spot. Okay, so now we're just going to go in with the foundation brush. I could not find, her beauty blender, so I'm just using a brush. And for my moms that's getting ready for competition, make sure you make enough time to do your daughter's face so that you're not pressing for time to try to get to competition, because it takes time to do this and I'm always freaking late, so I'm working on that myself. But when you do a full face like this, it really takes time. If you don't have the time to really, blend, I want you to blend more and more, even when you feel like it's already blended, okay? But as I was saying, if you feel like you don't have enough time to do all these steps, because it really does take time, I would say give yourself at least an hour or 2 hours if you're new, because if you're new to doing your daughter's makeup, because you just don't want to rush it and then not be able to blend everything out. And I just got some glitter on her face, so. Okay, so we got our foundation on. Now we're going to go back in with our same concealer that we've been using, and we're going to put this up under her eyes. So you just want to put a dot here, and you want to put a dot here because they don't need much. And then I'm going to connect those dots, and then we're going to put, let's just put a heart on their forehead. Boom. And then a little line on the chin, and then right down the center of the nose. And make sure that line that's down the center of the nose is straight. So now we're gonna blend it out. I have this brush to blend it out because I don't have a beauty blender. I'm actually gonna use this side because it's smaller. And even with your beauty blender, you're gonna do the same thing. Just press it in. Oops, look up, baby. And tell them to look up so that you can get up under their eye. Her eye's about to water, so. You good?
Mhm.
Okay. Look up, baby. And you can also kind of pull that product down their nose on the side. Just like that. And you're going to blend the other side out the same way. Just tap, 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 connect it, and just keep blending. And you don't want to go past that. So I'm just going to blend all that together. You don't want to go past the nose. And just keep pressing it in. And a beauty blender absorbs some of the foundation and concealer, so it don't look like it's much, but when you use a brush, you have more full coverage. So if you feel like you might put too much, just use your beauty blender if you're not already. And if it go on the side, you can just use your beauty blender, or you can use a clean brush. All right, now we're gonna blend out the other areas. And you're just gonna tap, 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 tap. And you see kind of like you can see the line of demarcation where the concealer and the foundation meets. you want to take a clean brush or a clean spot in your beauty blender and just blend out the edges. Just like that. You still want them to look like the light's hitting their face.
Mommy.
Yes, baby.
Mommy. Can I have water?
Sure.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome. And then for the bridge of the nose, you just want to tap, but you want to make sure you're using a skinny brush or turning your brush to the side so that you're not getting that concealer all on the sides. Because for the side of the nose, you want it to be darker so that you can snatch your nose in and make it look slimmer instead of wide. So that's why we put the light in the middle to make it stand out, and then we put the darker area on the side to bring it in. And that's also optional.
Mama,
And then, like I
said,
okay, baby, you're just growing. You're getting big and strong. And then, like I said, you can just use the clean side of your beauty blender or a clean brush to clean up those edges so that you don't see that line where the concealer and the foundation meets. And it should be looking somewhat like this. And if you feel like it's not blended enough, just go back and blend again.
It's good. That's good. That's good on her eye.
You like it, baby?
Uh-huh.
And now we're going to tap, tap, tap the chin to blend the concealer.
Yay.
You're so cute. I love you.
Love you, Mommy.
I tried to get my daughter to go in there with her Nana while I do this video, but she don't want to, so I'm not going to force her. So if y'all hear her talking in the back, I'm sorry.
Hello, guys.
She likes recording videos too.
Look at this, baby.
Okay, boom. Concealer
Boom.
done. Now you're going to take your contour shade and warm it up.
Yeah. It's cold.
Okay, so for the contour shade, I want to show you this. I'm going to use this brush, this angled brush, to blend out her contour.
No, the pink brush, I said.
Baby girl, you got to be quiet, okay? So for contour, just make sure you follow the line from the top of the ear. If you need to do a brush right here, so that you know where you're going. But this is where your contour should be, okay? No higher, no lower. Right there from the top of the ear. Okay? And you don't want it too close to the nose. You should be able to get 2 to 3 fingers between your contour and your nose. So now I'm just going to place 3 dots of contour.
Good job, Mommy.
Thank you, baby. Don't mix the brushes, okay? Don't mix them.
Okay, Mommy.
2, 3. And then you're going to contour the forehead.
Ew.
Just like that. And you're going to contour the nose. On the outside of that concealer that you put in the middle. Okay?
Now we just blend.
So now you want to take your angled brush or whatever brush or beauty blender that you have. And you're going to press it into the skin.
Skin.
Just like that.
Chocolate.
And you want to take it up into the temples. Okay?
Chocolate.
Do not pull it down. You want it to be above the ear.
Uh-huh.
Press it into
That's
the temples.
right, Mommy.
Okay? This is to snatch the face. And you just pressing it in and connecting those dots.
Press it in, Kaya.
And the reason for putting the concealer on the forehead is just to make the forehead look smaller.
Big smaller.
And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Blend up, tap, 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 and blend up into the temples.
The temple says.
And the edge of the concealer and the contour can meet, long as you blend well. So now we're going to go in.
This is so cute.
I'm going to go in with this dense, fluffy brush and blend out the nose contour. And I'm tapping. And I want to tap this up into the eyebrow a little bit.
And say, how
Just the beginning of the eyebrow. To make it look more natural, because you don't want it to look like you just got contour right here.
you have to do something that you want to, guys.
And you can also take it in the front right here. It's totally up to you. And now we're going to do the other side. And take it up into that brow. Tap, tap, tap. Remember, do not use a lot of product. A little goes a long way.
I like this brush. I like this too.
So now that we have the concealer and the contour done, we are done with cream products. Now we're going to start using our powders. You want to go in with this loose translucent powder. And we're going to use this, I don't know what you call it, this little blender.
It has this.
I know what to call it, but I can't think of it right now. But we're going to go in with this to blend it out. You can just use a brush or you can use your beauty blender, okay? Your beauty blender can be used with dry and wet products, okay? So we're just going to put a little bit in the lid. Oops, that's a lot. Just a little bit in the lid. Press it. So I don't want to bake. I don't want hers to look too bright. So I'm going to just like tap it off a little bit. If you got a beauty blender, you can't really tap it off. Just make sure you're not putting so much. So I'm going to go take this light powder right up under her eyes. Look up, baby.
Okay. Oh, I need this.
Just like this. And I'm going to go on the other side because I got enough to do both sides. And I'm also going to set her other areas. And I'm going to just take some from here because I feel like I got too much right there. Okay. And now you just want to go down the bridge of her nose.
Uh-huh. That is great.
And right on top of her cupid's bow.
Mm-hmm.
And her chin.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to blend that out.
And then now.
Just tap, tap, tap.
Tap, tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap.
And now I'm just going to go in with a brush. I know, I'm finna dust it off, baby. She's trying to check me. I'm just going to go in with a brush and dust it off for the areas that I was not trying to get it on. This is a clean brush. I have not used this brush for anything. And I'm just dusting it off her face.
Not there. Or not.
Okay. Now we're going to go in with the contour powder to set the contour. So I'm just going to use this angled brush. You can use the same brush that you use to blend out the contour, or you can use, I don't recommend using a beauty blender for this. I recommend using a brush for the contour. And remember to tap it off. And like I said, same thing. You need to just follow the top of the ear, tap, 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 and tap up into the temples, around the forehead.
This is gonna be a long video.
And this just brings color back into the face. And we're gonna do the same thing to this side. Tap, tap, tap in.
I remember when I did that TikTok.
And right there where the concealer is, you can tap it to make the two meet and blend together. That's what I like to do.
Looks like my face is so shiny.
Okay. Now we want to just use a different brush to put contour on. Girl, stop. Now I'm just going to use this small brush and I'm going to contour her nose.
Okay.
I'm just tapping that on there. Tap, tap, tap. And we're going to go up into the brow just like we did the first time. You're doing the same exact thing, but with powder.
You need some flour, jelly.
Okay. So now we got some blush. We're going to go in with our blush. I'm going to use this brush. This is just another angled brush. But you can use a brush like this. It doesn't matter. As long as you apply it right. And now you want your client or your daughter, whoever's makeup you're doing, you just want them to smile so that you can see the apples of their cheek. Please don't just place it on their cheeks. Tap, tap, tap. Make sure you don't use a lot of product. And then bring it up to the temples just like you did your contour. Okay?
And now it's just...
Okay, now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And I'll just like to bring that up to the temple a little bit. I feel like I got a bit much on that side. So. Anytime you feel like you got too much of something, just go back in with your foundation brush or your beauty blender, whatever you use to blend out the foundation, and just go over the whole area. It will not blend together, okay?
Let's do that real quick.
It's just going to tone it down a little bit.
Why does it look...
But I like for her blush to show, so I'm not going to tone it down too much. Okay? But I like for it to look even, so I feel like I got more on this cheek, and I don't want to apply more, so I'm just going to keep tapping.
And tapping. Tapping it.
Okay. So I'm going to leave it there. Now, since we got all the powder on the face, we're going to go back to the eyes. You do not have to do this step, but if you want to know how to do a full face of makeup for you or someone else, then I highly suggest you go back into your eyeshadow palette and you put the same shades of eyeshadow that you put on the top of your lid on the bottom of your waterline. Okay? So I'm just going to take...
Look what she has.
It's okay. I'm just going to take this brush and I'm going to tap into them same colors. Look up.
Let's do some pink.
I'm just going to tap into the brown right here. Okay. Halfway brown. And then I'm going to tap into the lighter color right here. Tap, 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 tap that off. And then look up. I'm going to tap that right here. Boom.
It's not that
And
much.
then I'm going to go in with the same brush that I used for the glitter earlier. And I'm going to put it right back in that same spot. Close your eyes. Okay. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing on both sides.
And
Okay, so we got the eyes done. Now we want to just add some concealer. I mean, not concealer. We want to add eyeliner to the bottom waterline. So look up, Kaya. And you can just use your finger, or I like to use something to hold it down just so it doesn't mess up the makeup. So look up.
Okay, you can
Almost done.
help.
Okay,
But you
Okay.
can't help.
You okay?
The water works.
I'm good.
Okay,
What?
I'm ready.
Okay, look up.
Okay. I can help you.
You do not have to do this part. I'm throwing extra stuff in here just so that y'all can see how it's done.
I think.
Okay.
When she went to competition, she did not get eyeliner on the bottom lash line. I'm gonna give her a break for tears because we don't want no tears. And if your child or your client does get tears on their face, just make sure you go back in with your foundation brush and clean it up so that they don't have like spots on their face. And try to help them fan.
Okay.
Okay.
Honey bun.
So now the last thing that we have to do to the eyes is apply some mascara on the bottom lash line.
No.
She hates this part as well. And you see that she got a little some right there. So I'm just going to go in and clean that up. Okay.
You have to clean this up.
Okay, look up. Now she can look up high because her lashes at the top are dry. So Kaya, now you don't want to look too low.
No.
So when you do the bottom lash line, you don't want them to look too low.
This all has-
Okay? They can look straight in front of them, but that's it until it dries.
This hurts. I'm talking to that. No, I'm
Let me know if you need a break. Okay.
Okay.
So now we're done with that.
No,
The last thing we have to do is lips.
it's mine.
Okay?
Mommy, this is
So
mine.
everybody knows how to apply lipstick, but for the ones that don't do makeup, this is for you. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is follow the lip line.
And makeup
Trace it out.
is good.
Okay? I like to start with the Cupid's bow area. And then I fill it in. Okay? And then we'll do the bottom lip. Maya, be still, baby.
Okay, Mommy. Okay.
And just make sure you're taking your time on this.
And your time. And I got
Open your mouth.
Open your mouth.
The last and final touch we need to do to the face is highlighter. If you prefer highlighter, there's a lot of different type of highlighters you can use. You see Kaya's is all crushed up. I don't know what happened here.
My backpack.
But we're just going to go in with, I'm going to clean off one of these brushes because she's running out of brushes. But you really just want to go in with a small brush or whatever you have. If you got a big brush and you need to use it for a small area, just kind of pinch it.
It's not kind of pinch.
And then a little bit, tap it off. Y'all, my hand's dry, sorry. A little bit, tap it off so you don't have too much. And this is where you will put highlighter. Very little.
Very little. And you have to put her some makeup on her.
And then some people apply it right here at the temples. And then you can take,
look, I got your phone.
A smaller brush.
Oh no, I don't need my phone.
I'm gonna use this brush. I just cleaned it off. It still got a little glitter in it, but it's okay. And you can take a smaller brush and you can go into your highlighter.
Look.
Whatever highlighter you have, and you can go on the tip of the nose. Okay. You do not have to do this. If you're not doing highlighter, spray setting spray on their face after you're done with their lips and you're done. Okay. But if you are doing highlighter, this is the places that you can apply it. Under the brow bone. Okay. The nose. Cheekbones. Like the high points of the cheekbones. The temples. And people used to apply it on the Cupid's bow. I have before, but she don't need that. So at this point, we are done. If you want it to look more like shiny, stand out more, you can just put more. Okay, you can just go heavy-handed with the highlighter. But do you see like that shine right there when she kind of moved her head? That is what the highlighter is for. Okay? Got some in her hair, but she ain't going nowhere. We're finna take this off and cleanse her face, okay?
Now we gotta add some setting spray.
Okay, so the last thing she's gonna add is setting spray, or I'm gonna add for her setting spray. Shake, shake, shake. So I've always been told to apply it like a T and then a circle. So that's what I've always done. Okay, close your eyes. Deep breath, because you're gonna have to hold it for a second. A T, circle. Okay, you can open your eyes. And whenever you do the setting spray, make sure they don't like squeeze their eyes together because their makeup is a little moist, so it will transfer if you don't let it dry. Okay. I'm sorry, baby.
And this is how it looks.
So this is the final look. Turn to the side, baby. Other side. So pretty. Okay. This is how I do her cheer makeup every single time. It took a long time to make this video because I had to explain everything, but it only takes me about 30 to 45 minutes now. When I first used to start doing it, it took me like an hour or two. Really 2 hours. I'm not even going to say an hour. It took like 2 hours, okay? So, yeah. Looks really good. Love y'all. Hope y'all get it together and y'all slay them babies' faces, okay? And remember to always blend, 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 even when you feel like you don't need a blend no more. Love y'all. Bye. Oh, and I have to come back on here to say that whenever you do their lipstick, take like a tissue or tell them to take their clean hands, their thumb, and pop it in their mouth and pop it back out just so that they don't have lipstick on their teeth throughout the competition or whatever. Even if they're not competing, just make sure their hands is clean so that they can clean the inside of their mouth. All right. Love y'all. Bye.